Hello, I'm Matt Heuser, today with Smart Bear Software at the Software Test Professionals Conference in San Diego, California. We're talking to Dylan Lacey.
G'day guys.
Who's evangelist with Sauce Labs.
That's right.
And he gave a talk, a technical talk.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, so how'd it go?
I think it ran really well. People were asking questions. That's always a good sign. People are engaged with the talk, they ask questions. They don't just sort of file out of the room and start looking for cake. So that's always good.
That's good. Was there cake?
I was busy asking
It was
questions.
it was the morning break, so I don't think there were brownies yet.
I had a beer during my talk. So
What did you say?
Well, okay, I started as a little baby developer doing testing. The consulting company I worked for flicked me out into the wide world, and they weren't a great consulting company. They were the sort of consulting company that measures their developers by weight. So a company goes up and orders 700 kilos, which is, I think, 4.9 million pounds. I'm not quite good with the imperial. And they go, all right, here's some developers, and they don't really match them up. And so they needed a tester. I was the newest person to the company, so they sent me out to do the testing. And what I found was the people there were great people, but they didn't have the technical skill they needed to execute a task. I did, because I love to build things, so I've done a lot of programming at uni and just pet projects. And so they had me help build their automation suite for performance testing. And I needed to train them up in it, because when I left, I wouldn't be there anymore. And what I found was trying to show them exact steps didn't work. Building metaphors and kind of abstracting away what I did.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and at Sauce Labs, I'm the Ruby evangelist in particular. So my job is to go out and help Rubyists use our product, show them why it's great, why it enhances their Selenium testing experience, stuff like that. And Ruby, we love tests. We love tests. We test, you do unit tests, you do functional tests, you do integration tests, you do performance tests. We test everything all the time. And because our language is dynamic, and we can write these DSLs in it that allow us to build testing tools that read like English, we have a lot of cool tools. And they abstract away some of the functionalities. So my talk was about how... So when you started, did you ever get a description of testing about baking your cake?
Like, I've not heard this. I know that it's apparently popular in
Australia. Yeah,
down under.
One of the metaphors for software testing is describe how to bake a cake. And so you say preheat the oven to 345 degrees, and then cream some butter and sugar, and then put it in a bowl, and then add flour. And whoever's talking to you interrupts you and goes, no. Do you mean degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius? What does preheat mean? How do I cream? And you sigh and you go, all right, well, turn the dial on the oven to the mark that says 375 degrees C. Turn a mixer on to speed 7. Add 250 grams of butter to the mixer. Add 1 cup of sugar. And they interrupted you again and they went, no, you need to be more specific. More specific. How do I measure? What's a cup? And you die a little on the inside. But you go back and you go, blah, blah, oven, blah, blah. Take a scale out of the cupboard, put it on the bench, put a bowl on the scale, and then you go on, and if it's an abstract concept like measure, you have to describe how to do it in a way that nobody does, like measure. Cut the block of butter into 100 parts, put a piece of butter in the bowl. If the measurement on the scale says less than 250, take another piece of butter and put it in the bowl.
What's the lesson they're trying to teach you with that exercise?
Specific tests are reliable, which is crap. Specific tests are not reliable. Specific tests are brittle. They're trying to say, like, if a newbie comes on the team and you've written everything out, you can give them the test, and without any domain knowledge, they can run them again. If you're sick, well, they say...
When you say run the tests, do you mean...
Execute the tests.
Automated tests that are a computer program where you... Or do you mean a test script
kind of
that
both,
is...
like a written test script that a human executes.
Right. It's very common to say, I want my test scripts to be executed by 4th graders.
Yeah.
And my response is usually, why are we hiring people in 4th grade?
It's kind of disrespectful.
What if we train them?
It's kind of disrespectful from the company to say it to the testers, and it's disrespectful for the testers themselves for you to go, yes, I will aspire to be a 4th grader. Then I can go on that game show and maybe win a non-specific prize.
I want that job anyone can do with no training. That's what I want to do.
They don't do it to developers. Why do they do it to testers? You guys are just as important for making the customers happy. And so...
Well, that was a nice thing to say.
It's only true.
Well, thank you.
If you have shitty broken software, no one cares what it can do because it doesn't do it.
Yeah.
So, take it away. Go back up the chain. Abstract things. An abstraction, people think in terms of language. It's called the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, and it is that you can't express a thought that you don't have the language to say. An abstraction is kind of building languages up about thoughts so that you don't even have to think them. You think the next level up. You have this line of abstraction under which it's not important what happens. Say I'm going out to get drunk, and I'm trying to tell you how to go get drunk, and I say, go to Chuck's, have a 4X, have a Corona, take a shot of tequila, try some natty ice, spit it out, have a Heinz Stefano. That's a test script, say. And then you try to execute that. If you were running through an automated test environment and you went and drank a shot of, I don't know, mezcal instead of tequila, a normal test script's broken because he hasn't followed it. But the end goal, getting drunk, he's still done that. So your test hasn't actually failed. It's failed on a technicality that's not actually important. A better script is the abstract version. I went to a bar. I had 4 beers. I took a shot. I went to sleep.
This is actually really close to the stuff that I've been doing lately, which is trying to make test scripts declarative instead of imperative.
Okay, yeah,
right?
exactly. There's a tool for that in Ruby called Cucumber, which is like natural language testing, and it encourages you can write imperative tests, but don't because it's stupid. Write declarative tests.
Right.
Yeah.
And I use different metaphors, but that's really fantastic.
Yeah, so the talk went really well. The slides are up on the STPCon site if you were an attendee. If you weren't, well, try contacting me at Dylan Lacey on Twitter, and I'll be happy to talk you through it.
Thank you for your time, Dylan.
No worries, thanks, Matt.
Appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks, everyone.